She divided opinion in life, and she divided opinion in death. Margaret Thatcher had the last say, even at her own funeral. This day has been planned since 2008. She wanted the military to play a prominent part, and 700 military personnel line the Strand behind me up to St Paul's Cathedral. Her supporters also lined the streets. Her critics turned their backs. Police had warned off protesters, but several hundred turned out to express a sentiment shared by many across the country.
I've come down here today because Margaret Thatcher divided this country into rich and poor.
So I object to the status given to her funeral, the cost of it in times of austerity. I didn't agree with her policies, Thatcherism as a whole, and what she's done to this country.
This is a deeply political event, and it requires political resistance. It's that simple. This is not about an individual person who's passed away. This is about somebody who represents an incredibly powerful and destructive ideology.
Thatcher's supporters said it wasn't a time for protest when her family was grieving. Critics disagreed.
Dennis Thatcher referred to black people as gollywogs. Mark Thatcher is a corrupt arms dealer, you know. Carol Thatcher, I mean, is a blimmin' disgrace as well. I just don't think there's any part of her family that I should be having any form of respect for, really. And I don't think she had respect for anybody else's families either. And so the idea that I should turn around now just because she's dead and somehow be sycophantic and hypocritical, I just think is wrong. I'm not going to practice hypocrisy like a lot of the British media are. I don't like Thatcher. I didn't like her when she was alive, and I don't like her now. And I will continue to fight against everything she stood for.
The idea that in death, the reality of what somebody's legacy really is should be somehow kind of brushed over in a sort of giant nostalgic moment is a very, very dangerous one.
But it was a nostalgic moment that was being created. Margaret Thatcher received a ceremonial funeral with full military honours, like the Queen Mother and Princess Diana. The Queen was head guest at a 2,000-strong congregation at St Paul's. British media coverage was almost blanket approval. If she was as popular as this funeral would suggest, perhaps 4,000 police officers in the biggest security operation since the Olympic Games wouldn't be needed. An estimated price tag of £10 million made it a grand and controversial affair, the majority of the public disagreeing with the cost. It was an attempt to create in death a legacy, Thatcher the British hero. It's a label that will be as controversial as her life and her death, and will divide opinion in the very same way. Nargis Mwalari, Press TV, London.